So, when doctors retire, they oftentimes have various different things they need to consider in their financial wheelhouse. And I want to talk about some of those things today. Hi, my name is Claire Langton Yanowitz, and we've been helping doctors get their affairs in order for over 30 years now. And so I want to talk about some things that need to be considered financially when someone retires. First, something that people have to decide is how they're going to take their pension. Sometimes people take it as a lump sum. Sometimes people take it as an annuity. If they're married, sometimes they take it over two lives. Sometimes they just take it over their life, or sometimes they take it over their life and then at their death, it gets cut in half for their spouse. So there's oftentimes a lot of different ways that pension can be taken, and there's different financial results. I tell people that even if you have an inkling that you might take it one way, you're not going to decide until you're ready to retire, because if you have a very serious medical condition, it will probably make more sense to take the lump sum than the annuity at that time if you think your life might be shortened. Another decision that physicians might make at this time is, are they going to roll over their retirement accounts, their 403B or 457B, to an IRA so they can be managed by a professional advisor? They need to think about ways to pay for their retirement account. So does that mean that depending upon what age people retire, are they going to need to start taking distributions from their retirement accounts, or is their pension and Social Security going to be adequate to support their lifestyle? Starting at age 73 here, presently, people have to start taking required minimum distributions from those retirement accounts. So even if someone doesn't need it, they're going to have to start taking distributions when they hit the age in which it's required, which is currently 73. So that is something to consider. If a physician doesn't need the money, they're adequately covered elsewhere. Sometimes they may decide to directly give their required minimum distribution to charity. And this can be helpful because if you do it in that fashion where it doesn't hit your bank account, it goes directly to that charity, then you can exclude that money from your income. Whereas if it went into your bank account, then you would have to pay income tax on that traditional distribution and then would get a charitable deduction. So that's not as beneficial as just not including it in your income from the first place, sending it directly to the charity. It's called a QCD. Another decision that they're going to have to decide is whether they want to keep their employer paid life insurance. A lot of people opt not to take this because it can be very expensive to pay for at the time of retirement, but it is something to consider if there are other considerations involved that might necessitate needing life insurance, or if someone's in poor health and it makes sense to pay for it for a little while longer. And another thing to think about at the time of retirement is updating your estate plan. Oftentimes, people get that estate plan in place when their kids are young. They want to name guardians for their minor children and choose who's going to raise their children. Well, those babies grow up, and at the time of retirement, a lot of them are adults. And oftentimes, this is a common time where people need to update their plan. They're oftentimes updating the people acting in their plan. Those babies who are now grown up are oftentimes named as successor trustees and powers of attorney and healthcare directives. The children are old enough to fulfill that role and responsible enough, grown up enough. And so oftentimes as the tides turn in life, it's time to name the next generation in that role. Thanks for your attention today. If you want to learn more about estate planning, we're creating new videos all the time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get alerted next time we add a new estate planning film to our library. Thank you.